A character that has been missing for quite some time has finally returned inside the Lantern mythos. Although he was featured in Dark Crisis, he played backseat to some of the more mainstream characters inside of DC. We hadn't gotten him featured directly inside the Green Lantern solo series either in any meaningful way since DC Rebirth's Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. I, of course, talk about Kyle Rayner, and even in Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps, that event didn't go too well with him having lost the power of the White Lantern there. Kyle Rayner, the torchbearer and fourth Green Lantern of this era. With everything going on inside the Green Lantern's current solo run, what exactly does Kyle Rayner do? Because Hal Jordan's been stuck on Earth. What exactly has Kyle Rayner been doing? Last we saw him, he left to work for those accursed United Planets Goons, and I'm sure they most likely sent him off into the universe somewhere on some hopeless mission to die. So let's find out what exactly has been going on with Kyle Rayner in this newest issue of Green Lantern. What's up guys, it's me. Like, subscribe, and become a member of the channel today. Join the Theromax Corps as well, and I hope you enjoy my review of Kyle Rayner's return in Green Lantern issue number 8. And as I said, Kyle Rayner's back with all sorts of awesome nostalgic references to his OG 90s run in issue 8 of Green Lantern. This shot is a classic example of the art, how it flows, but not only just the art of the page, but the art of the constructs, and just how unique are the constructs that Kyle Rayner makes. I mean, take a look at this samurai construct as it fights this massive machine here. As we rolled through all these different panels here, we can't help but notice Kyle kind of reminiscing how easy the job was back then. Kind of inferencing that all of these things were things that just simply happened in the past. And Kyle, in the OG 90s run, fought all sorts of different things, man. The daughter, or the son of Darkseid. I mean, he really did face a wide variety of things. Parallax. I mean, pretty much about every threat from space you could imagine since the GLC wasn't running around. It was just a pretty wild time for him. But the further and further as we go down through all these bubbles and all these images, we come to find out that this is all actual narration that Kyle's been discussing out loud over a cup of tea. And if you check out the mug here, it's actually a throwback to Radu's coffee shop. And for those of you who didn't read the OG 90s run, Radu was the owner of this coffee shop who allowed Kyle to crash upstairs for a pretty good deal on rent. In all honesty, I kind of wonder what happened to the guy, as he was a total Chad and had a pretty killer backstory. Really liked him just kind of hanging out and checking out Kyle running around with like 1,700 chicks, because that's all Kyle did in the 90s run for some reason. He was bouncing around between everyone. Anyways, Kyle continues on claiming that things are so different now than they were back then. Kyle, this entire time, has been narrating all of this to a construct of his first girlfriend, Alex, who died in the unfortunate fridging event. He reveals that everything has become so vast in terms of his power set. I mean, there's so many other Lantern Corps now, even from back in the day. The entire emotional spectrum just feels so much more vast, feels so much crazier, and as a result of all of that, it kind of makes it harder for Kyle to find his place amongst it. After all, I mean, after losing the White Lantern ring, Kyle's been kind of up in the air in terms of his emotions ever since. Kyle's been struggling on top of that also with this United Planets quarantine of his home sector, and specifically of his home planet Earth, as it keeps him from going home and his friends from visiting. Characters such as Hal Jordan, Carol Ferris, and the variety of other characters he met on Earth that he values, such as Donna Troy, or even Jade, both very, very prominent girlfriends he had throughout that 90s run. And Kyle, despite all of this, continues to say that it's not just things not working out for him. He continues to say something is definitely wrong. Like, the emotional spectrum itself is wrong. Like, someone is out there trying to disrupt it. Maybe even destroy it. This is something that disturbs Kyle Rayner as he continues to ponder everything over a cup of Radu's tea. Kyle also wants to do something about it, but he isn't sure what to do. I mean, what can he do? He's not a White Lantern anymore. He can't feel all the emotions he had so long ago. Despite that, however, he still misses his girlfriend Alex, as he always did love her. As the constructs around him seemingly fade, Joe Sojourner, one of the newest lanterns from Earth, arrives and asks if he is okay as his construct fades away. She approaches him with a dangerous thought. No, more than that, she has a working theory as to what's going on with the United Planets and the whole Lantern takeover. She made it sound as if it was planned and horrible. Kyle finds himself interested at this, having thought of all the things he had recently processed. Both Green Lanterns, as a result, fly into the distance, with Joe telling Kyle of the details of this alleged plan. So far away we can no longer hear it. The plan of the United Planets attempts to take over all the other Lantern Corps. Can the buddy cop duo work together to save everyone on Earth and 2814 from the quarantine of the United Planets? I hope so. And Kyle definitely deserves his time in the spotlight after having spent so much time in the background watching everyone else succeed, or watching nothing else happen for the Lantern Corps in general, let alone them just get destroyed time and time again and Kyle Rayner do nothing. Kyle Rayner's back, baby, and I'm looking forward to it. Who knows? Maybe this will be his start to an adventure on the emotional spectrum, the same way he did back in the New 52, becoming the White Lantern. You never know. I would really like that, but I doubt DC has any plans to kind of position him back into that level of power. But I would have never guessed that John Stewart would have become like an ascended human, and they were going to maintain that story for a while. But wouldn't it be crazy if Kyle became like an ultimate White Lantern, and he and John just kind of hung out after that? Two characters of like similar power capacities rolling around, like memeing around. That would be really interesting, dude. That would be super sick. But only time will tell. What do you guys think of them bringing back Kyle Rayner? Are you happy to see one of the most prominent Green Lanterns in Green Lantern history come back and start swinging? It's not just him either. Alan Scott has also made a real prominent return recently, as well as John. So we have a reference to Guy becoming important in this run, and you already know I'm going to be covering that. But tell me what you think down low. Will Guy be featured as heavily as Kyle Rayner was in this? And will Kyle Rayner's feature be more than just this one backstory? Let me know down low in the comments. Like and subscribe, become a member down low, and with no further ado, we'll catch you next time, Lanterns. Later.
Corrupting and creating events that affect the entire verse was the only way she theorized to decimate her source wall curse, and so she whispered madness to her child, the Anti-Monitor, driving him towards his revenge on his brother, the Monitor. A crisis on infant Earths is what he decided to grant, but her children were